Today we're diving into a topic that often makes or breaks a machine learning project, feature engineering. It's one of those things that sounds technical but is really about creative problem solving, right?
Absolutely. I always say it's less about algorithms and more about understanding your data deeply. You're not just feeding data to a model, you're sculpting it so the model actually has something meaningful to learn from.
Yeah, and it's wild how much performance gain you can get from just crafting the right feature. Like sometimes tweaking a timestamp into hour of day or day of week can outperform jumping from a logistic regression to a neural net.
Exactly. Time-based features are a goldmine. And it's often about context. Say you're working on sales data. Turning raw dates into indicators like weekend versus weekday or holiday proximity can give the model superpowers.
And we shouldn't forget domain knowledge. Like in healthcare, knowing that age squared might matter more than age itself, or in finance, creating a debt to income ratio from two columns. You can't Google those. They come from knowing the field.
Totally. And feature interactions are another rabbit hole. Have you ever tried creating cross features manually, like multiplying number of purchases with average basket size? It's like saying not just what they buy, but how big they buy.
Yep. Those second order interactions can reveal patterns that models wouldn't catch on their own. Of course, if you're using tree-based models like XGBoost, some of that gets learned implicitly, but doing it explicitly can still help, especially with linear models.
On that note, scaling features also plays a big role, especially when you're dealing with algorithms sensitive to scale, like k-means or SVMs, normalizing, standardizing, even applying log transformations. Those aren't glamorous, but man, they work.
And what about categorical data? I find target encoding super effective when done right, though it's a bit of a double-edged sword if you leak information from the target during training.
Right. You've got to be careful. Use cross-validation folds when encoding, or you're basically teaching your model the answers. One-hot encoding is safer, but it explodes the feature space if you've got high cardinality.
I once dealt with product names that had thousands of unique values. I ended up using feature hashing just to keep the dimensionality in check. Not perfect, but sometimes necessary when the alternatives are too memory intensive.
And we can't talk about feature engineering without mentioning dimensionality reduction, PCA, TSNE, autoencoders. Though those are more like feature extraction, they're still part of the toolkit when you're looking for structure and chaos.
Totally. Especially when you're dealing with hundreds or thousands of features. But I feel like sometimes we jump to those techniques too early before squeezing everything we can out of the raw features.
That's fair. Manual feature crafting should always be step one. It's the part where human intuition still beats AI. The better we understand the problem, the better features we can create to model it.
So I guess the takeaway here is, don't just trust the model. Make the data speak better. It's like tuning an instrument before playing. No matter how good the song, it won't sound right unless the strings are in tune.
Exactly. And sometimes the smallest new feature can be the missing puzzle piece. So if you're stuck on model performance, maybe the answer isn't more layers or more data, but a better question to your data.
That's a great place to end. So here's a thought for everyone listening. What's one feature you haven't tried creating yet that might completely change your model's story?